By now, most of us have heard of Tesla, the American car company that's changing the face of electric motoring, and it's doing so by bringing out cool, funky, luxury and aspirational products, like this, the Model S, a 5-door luxury hatchback. The Model S is available in 5 specifications. There's an entry-level 75, which gets a single electric motor at the rear to power the rear wheels. The rest of the range, the 75D, 100D and the Performance 100D, not only get the motor at the back, but also a motor at the front to make them all-wheel drive. This thing's absolutely packed full of designer touches, from the very stylish wing mirrors to the pop-out door handles and the frameless front and rear doors. Now, being a hatchback, you get a big opening to the boot. It's electrically operated and can be opened off the key. The lip's not too high. There's a bit of a drop to the boot floor inside, but not too tragic. This parcel shelf will fold up, and that opens up a nice big flat floor. It's not totally square, but it's actually very usable. Down the side is a big storage area, and underneath this little flap here is a huge storage space for your charging cables or whatever else you want to put in there. Now, the fact that this has got electric motors, one in the front, one in the rear, gives you extra storage. And that bonus storage is at the front, so you get a nice deep well in here for whatever you can't fit in the back. That's really very Porsche-like. Now, the dashboard is dominated by the 17-inch colour touchscreen system that controls pretty much everything in this car. So go to controls, you can change the suspension, driving, your trip computer, displays, all sorts. Then go into your apps, you've got navigation, music, then there's internet, whilst your calendar will sync to your phone, tell you what appointments you've got and navigate you there should you wish, using the navigation system. You can have this as split or have it as the full screen. This has the optional luxury pack, so there's a few extras in here that don't come standard with a car, including this optional carbon fibre trim finish. The instrument binnacle is digital and is absolutely beautiful. To the right, I've got what power I'm using over the last 30 miles. It tells me how much range is left, the temperature, and a really nice basic navigation. It's just very simplified but beautifully done. In here, there's a lot of Mercedes switchgear, including the window controls, the gear selector, and the wipers. There's also cruise control selector, but this model frustratingly has had all its autonomous technology switched off by the press team, so I'm not able to test any of that during our route, which is really frustrating. The seat is electrically operated and has a really good range of adjustment, including electronic lumbar support. The seat itself is really comfortable and quite supportive. It's not too figure hugging, so you can be a larger chap in here and still be comfortable. In the lowest seating position, thanks to the sunroof, I've got plenty of headroom and it feels luxurious and spacious around. There's no storage in the door bin, but that's made up for elsewhere. There's a big tray below the infotainment system, this slide back tray here with 2 cup holders in it, and then a tilt back compartment that's got a USB connector, 12-volt socket, and a little socket for my iPhone 6. Between these seats, slide that back for 2 more cup holders, and that's your lot. There's then a glove box on that side, which is operated by that electronic button. In the back, you get a nice big wide opening and then sink into these comfy, luxurious leather seats. The shape of the seats in front is really intriguing and you get an amazing view out. There's again no door bin and no other storage. Back here it is a couple of USB ports. There's a huge flat floor, so you can get 3 in very comfortably indeed. I've got plenty of leg knee room and just enough headroom for me at 5'9". You use the gear selector in the same way you do in any Mercedes. Push down to go, back up to neutral, up the top to reverse, and then push in the sides to park. What strikes you instantly as you pull away in the Model S is not how luxurious the car is, not the size of it or how much it costs, but it's how easy it is. It is a milk float just to pull away. There's a pedal to go and a pedal to stop. Now that pedal to stop doesn't always have to be used. The regenerative braking kicks in as soon as you come off the accelerator and the car slows quite rapidly. So you can find yourself just using the one pedal for quite a long time. We're testing the Tesla 100D that develops 417 battery limited horsepower and 487 pound-feet of torque. Now that's enough to get it from standstill to 60 miles an hour in 4.1 seconds. Even though the P100D is faster than this 100D, you still don't get bored when you sync the right pedal of just what the acceleration response is. Your head's flung into the headrest behind and you are pinned into your seat. In fact, I must confess to having a little bit of fun with my wife over the weekend when she was trying to bend forward to get things out of her bag, and thanks to the Tesla G-forces, couldn't move. It's also a different form of acceleration that you're generally used to. It's just one single pull. It goes and keeps going and just keeps going at the same rate. It's really smooth and just very, very impressive. Overtaking opportunities are almost everywhere. There's spaces that you just wouldn't even dare to in most cars, even performance cars. But this, just because it reacts so quickly, you'll just round something instantly. And it's worth bearing in mind that because the Tesla responds so quickly, other people on the road won't be used to that. So you have to sort of forward think their reactions. The fact that this car can do up to 300 to 320 miles without a recharge is really impressive, and it's a peace of mind that it gives you. You actually do drive a little bit slower because you just want it to last, but you're also in the knowledge that you don't have to. You can drive normally how you would drive any combustion car, but there's just something inside you that makes you slow down, relax a bit more, and take it easy. Unless you sink the right foot again. The S does handle impressively well. There can be a little bit of roll sometimes, but generally it stays very flat. It's most likely to understeer out of a corner, so you'll just have to apply a little bit more steering or back off a little sometimes. But generally it's a fun thing to drive, especially with that performance at the ready. The steering is wonderfully light at low speeds, so going around car parks, tighter areas in town, it's brilliant, and it stiffens up on the move. It's generally pretty consistent, there's no dead spots, and it's well weighted. The all-wheel drive system in this is really very impressive. It's only been the worst of wet roads when I've really floored it that I felt anything near a squirm, but the majority of the time it's brilliantly planted, very settled, and really grippy. The majority of the time the ride is luxuriously soft. It's as though you're on a magic carpet just floating down the road. It's really lovely. The damping with it is then well contained, so you're not too wafty or wallowy. It's just very, very cleverly judged, very comfortable indeed. Now you do get the odd occasion where it does crash a little. This is wearing huge 21-inch alloy wheels, and it is quite a sporty ride. So that doesn't come as a surprise or a shock, but something to be aware of, that down the worst of roads it can be a little bit choppy sometimes. Down to the lack of combustion engine and the levels of refinement in this car, it is supremely quiet. There is some wind noise on the motorway coming from the front pillars, but generally it's not bad at all. You can almost whisper along as your conversation progresses. Now, because this is so quiet, you will notice any rattle that's in the cabin, and there have been a couple that have changed different places. It's not been bad. This is a well-appointed luxury vehicle. I have the driver's seat in the lowest setting, but I feel quite high up. I've got quite a good view out. These pillars are all decently sized, they're quite girthy, so that does restrict a little bit of view, particularly when you're looking over to the left and over the shoulder. But this has front and rear parking sensors and a very clear rear camera. Something that struck me is how popular the Tesla is. The number of people that stop, stare, have a look, or want to have a quick chat to you about it. There's still a huge intrigue about this car, even though it's been out for many years now. Well, the Model S really is a terrific motor. It's good to drive, it's comfortable, and it's luxurious. Yes, it costs a lot, but I think it actually justifies it. It's got all the benefits of electric power without many of the drawbacks, and with a range of over 300 miles, it really does take away a lot of that anxiety. Thanks for watching. Check out the website for the full Model S review. Do subscribe to the channel for free, and let us know in the comment section below what you think of the Tesla.